What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. Thank you for all the day ones, all the new subscribers, all the likes, all the feedback, all the comments. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated.
Full of drug, prostitution, murders, abuse them and dog them out. So
and they might try it anyway.
prisons in the South,
Your man wants, or however, then that's whenever you broke the rules. You went against it. And, there's always going to be, it's from the old school, there's severe consequences for that.
prisons in the South, a white guy pretty much has it hard. You know, he'll be tested much quicker than a black inmate. You know,
It was this guy who was here before. He was a blood, and in Alabama, you know what I'm saying. A lot of places, you know what I'm saying, they don't believe in a white guy being a blood.
I had feelings for him, lust, even at the time that he was still claiming to be a blood. But by us acknowledging him as a blood, you know, I pushed that lust to the side. So for me to meet him, and he was already a member of Bloods, I felt like, well, hell, he had to show some type of heart. I put it like that. He had to been improved himself. So I accepted him. During this time, it was football season, and every motherfucking prison gonna watch football. So the captain and the lieutenant, they come around and do daily inspections of the whole dorm.
So this guy in particular, he had painted a lot of satanic stuff on the wall inside one of the dorms here.
They go off. I mean, they have a fit. Until we find out who vandalized his room, there'll be no football. Another blood come to me, say, "Hey man, you know who put that shit in that room?" I said, "Nah, who?" So he tells me, he say, "Blood did it, the little white boy." So I'm like, "What?" So I was JD. We were together for approximately 2 years before he went home on parole. During those 2 years, we developed great feelings for one another. You know, he was like my shadow. Everywhere you seen me, you seen him. You know, We were best friends. It wasn't the relationship wasn't based on sex, me fucking him in his ass. It was more than that. You know what I'm saying? I cared deeply about him. I woke up, first thing I wanted to see was him. Before I went to bed at night, the last thing I wanted to see was him. I was in love with him.
The game is in the penitentiary.
We developed great feelings. My first boy was JD. We were together for approximately 2 years before he went home on parole. During those 2 years, we developed great feelings for one another. He was like my shadow. Everywhere you seen me, you seen him. We were best friends. It wasn't the relationship wasn't based on sex. Me fucking him in his ass. It was more than that. You know what I'm saying? I cared deeply about him. I woke up, first thing I wanted to see was him. Before I went to bed at night, the last thing I wanted to see was him. I was in love with him.
The game is in the penitentiary. A set of rules dealing with homosexual activity. You got what you call boys and sissies. Then you got your man. So, I was looked at to be turned out, what they call fresh meat. I ended up going to down to a room to smoke a joint. We was on the chain gang, 16 dorm at that time. And
Real hard.
I tell him to turn around. So he moves slightly. I tell him to turn around again. He still doesn't want to turn all the way around. So I said, bitch, if I have to tell you to turn around one more time, I'll break your jaw. So he turns around.
He make him come out his clothes. First, he reluctant about coming out his clothes, so he slap him again. So when he slap him this time, he gonna come up out his clothes. He go to feeling on him.
I squeeze his ass cheeks. 2 handfuls. He tenses up. So I started to pull his shirt off of him. I give him the grease. And I tell him to put some on his finger. Stick it in his ass and what I'm saying, kind of like fuck himself. To loosen himself up. Because I know he had never been penetrated before. It was his first time. And also, what I'm saying, just an old penitentiary trick that I learned from some old convicts. If he screamed rape, what I'm saying, he had grease on his fingernail. So he greased his own self up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to basically lie and tell him I've been fucking him. He's been my boy. Hell, they going to buy it. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I'm gonna go to the extreme and get 4 or 5 other guys that lie and say I've been fucking him too, been taking care of him. He's been my boy. So I get the grease. I grease my penis up. You know what I'm saying? So I lay him down on the bunk, flat on his stomach. So I'm rubbing in his ass, you know what I'm saying? Squeezing his ass cheeks, rub my fingers up and down his back, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to talk him through it, tell him to relax, you know what I'm saying? He still pleading, begging me. Like I said, I didn't care to hear any of that. You know what I'm saying? I had made up my mind. So I go to fucking him. You know what I'm saying?
What's going on,
slowly
JoJo?
at first, you know what I'm saying, and try to loosen him up. So he's groaning and, you know what I'm saying, moaning and telling me how it hurts. So, you know, I bag out a little bit, just tell him to relax, breathe, you know what I'm saying? So I'm fucking him. At this time, my partner, my dog, he at the door. You know what I'm saying? He's standing.
See, once the truth comes out, I want to see what they talk about. What kind of content, if it's still funny. It's all fun and games. People want to know the truth. People want to know the truth. And we're going to get the truth. Once we get the truth, that's it. I can move on. I can move on from this. They can keep it. I did my job then. After the truth comes out, I can move on. But till then, I have to see it through. Dante. Whatever you want, man. I've been cleared. Right now, whoever's rocking with Mark, I feel it for y'all. Because y'all's cash cow is out the door. Whatever place y'all think y'all can come up with, or try to divide and conquer, I don't care, man. It don't bother me. What bothers y'all is that when the truth comes out, y'all ain't gonna be able to make no money off this guy. So y'all can continue to try to spin any kind of narrative you want. When the truth comes out, I'll be able to step away from it and y'all can keep it. Whatever's left over, y'all can keep it. But till then, sit back and enjoy the documentary.
In front of the cell. Like, man, come on, man. Goddamn. Don't hurry up, man. I want to get straight to. I said, well, come on. I get up off of him. He greases himself up. He shows him no mercy. He fucks him for real.
Sick fuck.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to tell him, hold up, man, you know, slow down, chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hurt him for real. You know what I'm saying? And you have to go to the hospital and you know what I'm saying? He's gonna automatically have to say what happened. You know what I'm saying? So
he have sex with him first. Then I have sex with him. Then he have sex with him. I have sex with him. Then he have sex with him. And then that was the end of it.
after this, you know, he finishes, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So boy gets on the shit jacket. You know what I'm saying? Use the restroom. So I fuck him. He, you know, cleans himself up or whatever. He's back on the bed. So I go and finish up. He said, I didn't finish it first. You know what I'm saying? So I fuck him and I come off. I get my due. Next day, you know what I'm saying? He goes to SEG. In prison, that's lockup.
So I'm like, in my heart, I'm like, damn, we through. We done got us a rape case.
But now he doesn't tell the folk that he was raped or had been penetrated or nothing. He tells the people that he was assaulted by some other inmates who he couldn't identify. So they place him in segregation.
But your dumb ass is still over here, right? Kick
partner.
rocks.
We go to the lieutenant who put him in SEG, and we explain the situation as far as he was a member of our gang and we beat him out.
That's right. See, that's the thing. That when the truth comes out, y'all can keep it. everybody's gonna look at y'all some type of way, man. Y'all's credibility is out the door. I've been seeing y'all's plays from a mile away. Why do you think I don't give nobody no wrenches? Why do you think nobody has no wrenches? Why? Because Rita has always been Dante or somebody that Dante can manipulate. All these plays that y'all got going on are childish.
But back in the day, whether or not he exaggerated.
Exactly. When he could be down there being the voice for the Latino people in Texas, but he want to get in black people business. Who gives a damn what a black man did to a white dude in prison? Exactly. Right? That they got a damn thing to do with him. When he could be down there being the voice for the Latino people in Texas, but he want to get in black people business. Who gives a damn what a black man did to a white dude in prison? They got a damn thing to do with him. When he could be down there being the voice for the Latino people in Texas, but he want to get in black people business. Who gives a damn what a black man did to a white dude in prison? That politics, that they got a damn thing to do with him. When he could be down there being in Texas, but he want to get in black people.
Down on the bunk, flat on his stomach. So I'm playing, rubbing in his ass, you know what I'm saying? Squeezing his ass cheeks, rub my fingers up and down his back, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to talk him through it, telling him to relax, you know what I'm saying? He still pleading, begging me. You know, like I said, I didn't care to hear any of that. You know what I'm saying? I had made up my mind. So I go to fucking him. You know what I'm saying? Slowly at first, you know what I'm saying, and try to loosen him up. So he's groaning and, you know what I'm saying, moaning and
That's Dante's bitch ass.
So, you know, I bag out a little bit, just tell him to relax, breathe, you know what I'm saying?
That's his little
so I'm fucking him.
racist alter account.
This time, my partner, my dog, he at the door. You know what I'm saying? He's standing in front of the cell. So he's like, man, come on, man, goddamn. Go on, hurry up, man. I want to get straight too. I said, well, come on. I get up off of him. He greases himself up. He shows him no mercy. He fucks him for real. You know what I'm saying? So I had to tell him, hold up, man, you know, slow down, chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hurt him for real. You know what I'm saying? And you have to go to the hospital and, you know what I'm saying? He's going to automatically have to say what happened.
All those are fake, man. That guy gets about 1,000, 2,000 views. And then the rest are bot. You think you can play deceitful games with me? I already know the way you work. You try to build accounts to try to build a backstory with me. Rita, I've been knowing Rita is somebody that's been aligned with you. So now all you're trying to do is like, oh man, look, all these people were rocking with Noel, but now they're over here rocking with me. It's all you. It's only you and your accounts. So you can't manipulate me. Sit back, enjoy the show, and comment.
Assaulted by some other inmates who he couldn't identify. So they placed him in segregation. Me and my partner, we go to the lieutenant who put him in SEG, and we explain the situation as far as he was a member of our gang and we beat him out. And he didn't want to tell them who beat him up because he didn't want to bring.
See, this is what people don't understand. Dante was popping in the COVID era. In the COVID era, when people were at home watching, you see No Jumper. He's downsizing because it's not the same as when it was in COVID. People were inside, people were tuned in. So Dante, he brags about these numbers, but these are fraud numbers. Is that all you can say? See, I've been cleared, man. My name is clean as a whistle for those charges. I know you hate it. I know you hate it. It rubs you some type of way. But you see, when you're innocent, you're innocent. And I know it rubs you the wrong way. It don't rub me the wrong way. You know what I mean? I'm happy. I know the truth. Lesser charge. Got him. You're an idiot, man. But enough about me. Enough about me. And let's get about the races.
When he could be down there being the voice for the Latino people in Texas, but he want to get in black people business. Who gives a damn what a black man did to a white dude in prison?
Exactly.
That they got a damn thing to do with him. When he could be down there being the voice for the Latino people in Texas, but he want to get in black people business. Who gives a damn what a black man did to a white dude in prison? That politics, that they got a damn thing to do with him. When he could be down there being the voice for the Latino people in Texas, but he want to get in black people business. Who gives a damn what a black man did to a white dude in prison? That they got a damn thing to do with him. When he could be down there being the voice for the Latino people in Texas, but he want to get in black people business. Who gives a damn what a black man did to a white dude in prison?
Exactly. Especially that far back in the past. I'm gonna be honest.
With him, when he could be down there being the voice for the Latino people in Texas, but he want to get in black people business. Who gives a damn what a black man did to a white dude in prison?
Exactly.
He be down there being the voice for the Latino people in Texas, but he want to get in black people business. Who gives a damn what a black man did?
I'm just gonna basically lie and tell him I've been fucking him. He's been my boy. Hell, they gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I'm gonna go to the extreme and get 4 or 5 other guys to lie and say I've been fucking him too, been taking care of him. He's been my boy. So I get the grease. I grease my penis up. You know what I'm saying? So I lay him down on the bunk, flat on his stomach. he didn't want to let him know that he had been fucked. So the lieutenant said, son, I'm going to let you out of SEG, but I'm not going to let you out today. I'm going to let you out Monday. This was on a Friday.
And when he go to lockup, Mark sending him all kind of cigarettes and making sure he got everything he need in lockup, making sure he got his cosmetic, making sure he got something to smoke, making sure he got coffee, making sure he got food, because in lockup, you can't have all these things.
So Monday come around, he gets out of SEG. I see him. When I see him, he said he's in the Bible. He wants to live for God. By my grandmother raising me, tried to raise me in a, Christian environment. I believe in God. I'm not gonna never go against God. So I told him, I said, hey man, I understand that. But in my mind,
that the prison system kind of lets it
I
happen.
really wanted him to be with me. You know what I'm saying? But I said, if you're gonna live for God, I respect that. And I said,
What made the film so powerful? It was his character more than anyone else's, because he's got this dissonance, this dichotomy between good and evil. And but back in the day, whether or not he exaggerated and embellished and had a good time telling these freaky tales, which is a major pastime in prison, where people, so he can claim to have exaggerated or distorted, but probably not by much. Not by much.
I know you said something about he had some good parenting instincts. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, because it also talked about the boo game in there. It was these innocent guys that they would purposely get in debt. And again,
Right. So he claimed to have groomed his victims, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a free world context, in the outside prison context, it's grooming, it's manipulation, it's gaslighting, it's all these things, right? But I don't personally believe it was just that. I think that he had genuinely good instincts, that that some of his victims he also cared for, was protective of, helped them come up in the prison game to become stronger and better able to take care of themselves. I always think there's a contradiction. I don't look at this schism, this separation between good and evil. I think that Mark has some genuinely good attributes,
Mm-hmm.
and wasn't just he wasn't a psychotic evildoer. He was a product of his environment, but who conducted and perpetrated prison rape. That's also basically supported by the prison system, both in state, county, federal lockup, and privatized lockup. That allow.
About a week goes by, he goes and get baptized in the chapel inside the prisons and all this and that. He's going to church. So after about 2 weeks go by, I see he slacked up from going to church. He's hanging with other guys that they fuck ass. They smoke dope. He running tattoos. If you're a Christian person or any type of person of a religion, you know what I'm saying, you don't hang around these type of people. You know what I'm saying, dealing with these type of activities. And the bitch was just fronting to try to get away from me. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he wanted to live for God, I could accept that and respect that. You know what I'm saying? But to use God to try to get from up under me and get away from what I wanted, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't accept that. So I seen him. He's laying out on the grass by the dormitory. So I call him. I go off on him. I snap on him. Bitch, you know what I'm saying? I know this, I know that. I put everything all on the glass, on the table. I let him know about the joint he smoked, because the dope come from me. After that, I say, you got two choices. You can either be with me or you can go pack your shit and go tell them folks to lock you up. you go back to lockup. So he looks at me. He said, man, I ain't got no problem with being with you. We hook up, you know what I'm saying? Everything was lovey-dovey, you know what I'm saying? Relationship was gravy, all good. I transferred.
You know, I'm always feel bad about, you know, that situation that ever happened. You know, after I moved on, I told him I was through messing with him, and he got with this other dude. You know what I'm saying? He wound up having sex with him. He was doing so bad, never having nothing. He wound up selling him to somebody else on the other side of the camp. You know, they have two sides of this prison. So he wound up selling him to another dude, and that dude wound up selling him to another dude, you know, and he just wound up, you know, going down through that because he was with all these different dudes, and these dudes was treating him different. Some of them make him trick, you know what I'm saying? And he was doing different things, and all this, what he was going through was.
See, because this is what they're doing. They want to start fake conflict between Mark and June so they can keep the content going. All this is a content game for them. Mark is the cash cow. I'm not in it for the content. If I was in it for the content, I'd be joining the bandwagon and trying to be with Dante. So I understand why they're just attacking and attacking. They're having panels right now of Mark's sexual preference. You had guys over there, and this is the honest truth. I haven't even watched that video. I haven't even watched that video of Mark in the so-called sex tape. Why? Why would I even want those pictures or those frames in my mind, those thoughts to even picture Mark with another man? I mean, why do you want those thoughts? Why do you want that curiosity for? I was hearing other guys. I was seeing other guys. Oh yeah, I want to watch it. I want to watch it. Asking Mark if he was on all fours, all tripods. Who cares? But now I started thinking these guys have no morals or values. They probably got a camera out there for Mark and said, look, man, if you think you can make money off YouTube, try this other app. You're getting pleasure and getting paid. All you have to do is record yourself. So why would Mark be in a room recording himself? What is the benefit of recording yourself? It's like basically incriminating yourself. You're trying to clear your name up of not being or partaking or indulging. But then here you go and give these people the smoking gun. It's premeditated, planned, falsified. It's all to control the narrative and to continue trying to make money off of Mark. Mark is the content. Mark is the content. But I'm exposing Mark. That's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to get Mark on a panel and try to make a mockery out of his sexual preference. As long as Mark ain't victimizing people out here, he can do whatever he wants. So if Mark comes out of course he ain't hopping on no panel. But Mark, this is a coward. This is a coward. Mark can jump on a panel with 10 other people, but he can't jump on a panel with 3 people at the most. My panels ain't gonna have people talking out their neck or trying to make a mockery or trying to make a shit joke out of a serious situation. I get that. I get that. It's all fun and giggles. You know, I don't mind having a few laughs at Mark's expense. But then again, these are some serious allegations. And when those type of allegations come, as a man, you should face them and be like, look, hey, this is what it is. Instead of making a mockery. I get it. You know, it's a serious situation. Everybody's questioning. Don't we want to know the truth? Or do y'all prefer just to let Mark be the character that he is? Make a mockery out of this situation, out of all the victims. All this stuff that I say about Mark, or I attack Mark about, it's not me, my own personal vendetta. It's from what he's saying. Self-admission. He self-admitted to all this. Him saying that he's a prolific gunslinger. He admits to 9. But come on. If he's an adamant gunslinger, 9 is like, I'm even looking at him like, come on, man. 9? That's like a Quagmire. If Quagmire, when you ask Quagmire's body count from Family Guy, and he tells you 4. I'm pretty sure it might be in the double, even in the triple digits. Because if you're an adamant gunslinger as a man, you get aroused daily. So if that's a daily occurrence and you're an adamant gunslinger, so you're just gonna have your hands tied behind your head, you know, he only wants to tell you and disclose so much of it. He wants to cop out to the lesser evil. This character tried to make a statement that I pleaded out to a lesser charge. But there's no, what's the lesser charge? Possession of a controlled substance, domestic violence, burglary of a habitation. What was the lesser charge for such serious of an allegation that, you see, it makes no sense with these guys. But every time, that's like their little go-to. But Mark self-admitted allegations from Hips. Now there's a victim. See, if y'all cared about it, if y'all cared about Mark being with the woman, then why do y'all got him filming himself with the dude? You see how hypocritical y'all are? Hypocrites. Nobody else can do it but y'all. Y'all are the only ones that can bash and criticize Mark. Nobody else.
Result, cause nobody messed with him. He's a blood.
He just went crazy. He just went to sleeping with different guys. I mean, just tossing the ass up.
Everything he did after that wasn't his choice.
You see, I'm not going to be asking Mark about his sexual preference. I know he's gay already. We all know he's gay. Now, if Peanut comes out and says, hey, Mark got me hogtied, he got me locked in the dungeon, he barely feeds me 2 crackers and a cup of water, then I'd be concerned. I'd be like, oh, Mark's back at it. Who the fuck gonna settle down with that guy, bro? Who the fuck in the right mind is gonna settle down with that guy? Fucking Peanut? Honey Bun? Come on, man. And you encouraging that 7, knowing that guy's a freak, knowing that guy likes guys. Ain't nothing wrong with him liking guys, right? But you either gonna be in or out the closet. You can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. If you're gonna commit, fully commit. I mean, you've been outed. You outed yourself on what you were doing. And I don't understand the comments of some people. No, you don't have to buy it, man. You don't have to buy it. My how can I tell you, my thing has never been trying to convince you. Because you can turn colors, man. You can turn blue and purple trying to convince somebody. So that defeats the purpose. Everybody has their own mind. They can make their own conclusion. The star witness, he's there, man. He's there. But I can't force the dude. I can't go knocking at his door and say, hey, come out and play. I can hit him up on his phone and be like, hey, man, what? People make it seem like that's so taboo. People were so intrigued from the beginning because they wanted to know the truth. That's why everybody was watching. Everybody was tuned in because Mark was denying everything. Am I right or wrong? Everybody was entertained because here you got this guy 30 years later saying that what he said 30 years ago was all fake. So everybody was tuning in to know if he did it or not. It seems like everybody has lost track of the motive except me, Youngblood, and a few others. Everybody was tuned in for that simple purpose. Did he do it or did he not do it? That's why everybody was tuned in. Am I wrong? Or was everybody just tuned in because Mark's a handsome guy? Or what was the reason people were tuned in? People were tuned in because they wanted to know the truth. But it seems so many narratives have been pushed out there that everybody lost track of what the agenda was. Everybody, including myself, was tuned in to know if he did it or not. That's why everybody was tuned in, right? People were paying $50 per spot on panels to express their opinion on why he felt he didn't do it or did do it. I don't get that. And now all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy. Why? Because I kept on track onto what the mission was at hand. That mission at hand was, did he do it or not? That's why Dante's video, when Mark came out, 60,000 views, 70,000 views. People were tuned in because they wanted to know the truth. They wanted to know the truth. That's why everybody was tuned in. And now all of a sudden, everybody has lost track of the mission. But from the beginning, everybody was tuned in to find him either guilty or innocent. But so many false narratives have been weaved by Charlotte's Web that the truth, the seekers, so what is the purpose? So your purpose is just to sit there, bully a guy about his sexual preference on what he likes to stick it in and what he don't like sticking it in. That's what y'all like. Instead of sticking to the mission at hand, what was that gravitated everybody's attention was the main thing. Did he do it or did he not? But it seems I'm the only one that kept on track to the mission. Everybody was tuned in for that simple fact. People weren't tuned in because Mark's a handsome guy. He gives perfect family advice. He gives life advice. People were tuned in because they wanted to know the truth. They wanted to know the truth. So now that we're about to get to the truth, so what was the whole purpose of it for? People were tuned in. I just want to know what was your reason to tune in when you first saw Mark? What was the purpose? It wasn't to say, oh man, look at this guy, this new content creator. Who is this guy? No. What caught my attention was the documentary. What people were gravitating to, the truth. The truth. Right? But during the process of me trying to get to the truth, it became about me. It became about me. Another smoking, deflecting from the truth, right? But that's what happens. Fake news, fake agenda. That's what happens. That's what happens. So many people see so much fake narratives that at the end of the day, they don't even know what to believe themselves anymore. Their mind gets so polluted with all these narratives that they lost track of the truth of what they were really set out to do. They, that's that saying, they got lost in the sauce. But I have never lost track of the mission. Was to know if he did it or not. That's why before before it became anything about me, I reached out to find Hips to know the truth, if Mark was or not doing it. So in the process of me trying to find the truth, I start getting attacked personally. So I had no choice but to defend myself and continue the battle. So now, not only did I want to know the truth, but now I had a horse at stake. Why? Because instead of just being about Mark, they made it about me. And that's fine. I'm cool with that. Because my end goal was to get to the truth. The truth. I don't know why everybody else was tuned in from the beginning, but I'm pretty sure, just like myself and many others, you wanted to know, did he do it or not? That's it. That's it. And as far as people picking sides, there's no sides here. You have the free will to pick and choose. It's like the people that write comments. I'm like, you wasted more time and energy writing that comment while you could have just swiped and not even clicked on my video. You wasted more time and energy to send me a comment that I'm not going to pay no mind. You're going to feel stupider because in the reality of it, you could have just swiped. So when people go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, that doesn't move me. That doesn't motivate me. If you can't think or see things the way I see them, I chunk the deuce. I'm not going to sit there and try to persuade you or brainwash you or try to make you see things the way I see them. That's for you. Like-minded people stick together. I don't know, man. I don't know. I got no control over people's emotions, but I know I ain't did nothing wrong. I'm sticking to the mission at hand. The mission at hand was to know the truth. That's why everybody was tuned in. So it seems people are more interested and worried about this guy's sexual preference instead of really questioning and knowing the answers to if he really did it or not. This world is backwards. So everybody was tuned in from the beginning to know if he did it or he did do it. But now everybody's concerned about his sexual preference. That makes no sense to me. So it's like you like to eat cheeseburgers without cheese. So now I don't like you. My preferences on what I like to eat shouldn't affect you. Now, things that affect you are my hygiene. If I have poor hygiene, I can understand how that would affect you. And you can talk about it, right? Be like, damn, every time this dude comes around, he gives me a headache. But to question and persecute a man on his sexual preference, if that ain't the definition of bullying, I don't know what is. People try to say that I'm a bully. Why? Because I want to get to the truth. I want to end this, get it out the way. What is so wrong with that? Yeah, I got a ladybug in here, man. You know, they say ladybugs are look good luck. So, my job is not to persuade. What you got to understand, man, it might come off that way. Because, like I said it, when I first came into the situation, none of my personal information had been leaked, right? So, when I came at Dante, I was just part of the audience trying to find the truth. That's why I went out there and I found hips. I wanted to know the truth. I didn't go make up people. I didn't make up accounts. I went to somebody that was in the documentary to tell us the truth. And now, during the process of me bringing out hips, that's when I started getting attacked. Bringing up my criminal record, doxing me, making my allegations seem more worse than what they are. I got no convictions. I got no lesser charge. But then again, they try to continue to paint any kind of narrative. Why? To distance the goal from getting to the truth. So during the process of me trying to get to the truth, it came to, I have to defend myself. Not only I have to defend myself, I have to get to the bottom of the truth. I can't lose the task at hand. The task at hand was the truth. But during the process of that, I have to defend myself. So it might seem that I have more invested than the normal person. And it's rightfully so. Because if you were trying to do something good by trying to spread the truth, and you get all this backlash, how would you feel? It's like climbing to peaks, Pikes Peak in Colorado, and almost being to the peak and then giving up. We're almost there. That's why everybody was tuned in from the beginning, including myself. I was not tuned in to listen to Mark talk about his sexual preference with another man in a motel room. What positions they laid in, grease, no grease, protection, no protection. What kind of music they had in the background. Did they use baby oil or coconut oil? These things, I could care less. So, some people might think that I have a vendetta. I'm just never a quitter. And for what I've been through, I have to see it through. I'm taking the chances of this guy coming out and saying, you know what, man, none of that's true. But you know it's not true. Why? Because you have Jonathan Schwartz. Now, if Jonathan Schwartz would have never did that interview, I'd be like, oh, but the man solidified that the documentary was real. So regardless if it says other, but see, people don't want to hear the truth, right? People are more interested in hearing the positions Mark was doing it with Peanut. That's more irrelevant nowadays. The man's sexual preference is more relevant than if he didn't do all this crazy shit. I don't know about y'all, man, but I've always told y'all from the beginning, if that dude can get some kind of closure with his family, fuck everybody else. If that dude can get some closure with his family, hey, fuck everybody else. Because that's who matters. Your family. Nah. That man don't got no brand, man. That guy's retirement. That guy knows what Mark is. Confidence. He says it with confidence. So all these variables, and nobody wants to know the truth. Nobody wants to know the truth. It seems like me, Youngblood, and a few others are the only ones that want to know the truth. Out of all those people that was watching, tuning in, paying to be on panels, to ask Mark these questions, I don't get it. That's why I had to do this live right now. I'm like, all these don't they realize that everybody was tuned in to know if he did it or not? That's why everybody was tuned in. That's why I was tuned in to know if he did it or not. Yeah, but the victim's out. The victim's found. You say I got to admit that dark, but as they say, no victim, no crime. The victim's there. The victim's there. See, Fleece doesn't have a documentary, man, of him saying he was doing all this. All he got's a documentary from NBC Lockup saying he liked boys, he was taking it. There was no victims in that documentary. In that interview, it was just Fleece. This turned out, you see many perspectives. You see Mendenhouse's perspective. You see Idy's perspective. You see Singletary's perspective. You see Honeybun's perspective. You see a handful of characters' perspective in this documentary. And they all say something different, outlandish, wild. Fleece just said some wild shit to the camera. Now, since there was no people or victims, I would say Fleece was just talking shit on camera. Because nobody has came out and said other. There's not a documentary with Fleece and victims. It's just Fleece. Now, on the other hand, you got Mark and JG cream pieing, tag teaming, putting blades to a guy's neck. It paints a whole different picture than what just Fleece saying. Fleece is just saying some shit just to be on camera. Embellish. Mark, on the other hand, actually replayed a crime. It's two different scenarios, man. Yes, they're both in the same category. But if you were going to pick the lesser evil of them both, they're both evil. But Fleece, in my opinion, is the lesser of evil. Why? Because there's no victims. There's not even a co-star backing up Fleece play. If there was another guy backing up Fleece play, then I'd be like, fuck, man, there's victims. But here, you got JG and Mark backing up each other's play. And then you got victims' testimonies. So if you sit back and you think about it, Mark is worse than Fleece due to self-admission. Now, who said more outlandish and wild stuff? Well, that's Fleece. But Fleece does it to keep you entertained and get some good laughs out of you. But see, when Mark says something like that, you got to take into account the victim's testimony, the Matts, the Ides, the Mendehals, the Thomas Harris. You have to take all that into account and then paint your picture. Mark said some wild shit, man. And that there was other people to back it up. So it makes it more believable, man. Like, all Fleece said, he likes butt. Compared to Mark and JG, I don't know. Nah. See, that's going to be for the victim. I'm not the victim. I'm not the victim. That's going to be up to the victim on how far he wants to go with it. You know, just like Youngblood said earlier, maybe this victim has reached the point in his life where he can forgive Mark. I don't know. I don't know. But we need to hear that. We need to hear that. He can forgive Mark. That's his choice. He's the one that went through it. Now, if he says, on the other hand, I want to prosecute Mark to the extent of the law, maybe he doesn't understand that, or he doesn't know that Mark's on YouTube making money off that documentary. Saying that documentary is fake and lies. And now he told his family what he went through. So if he told his family he went through all this, and he watches videos of Mark saying, oh man, that documentary's fake. That ain't nothing. How you think he's going to feel? That he done told his family that he went through this. And now you got a guy saying, man, what you went through is fake. It never happened. But I told my family that it did happen. So I don't know. I don't know what the end game is. I wish I can tell you the end game because it's not in my control. I guess in the way it is, but I don't have the final say. I'm not the victim. So I don't know. I'd be lying to you if I told you what the end game would be. I don't know. I'd be lying to you. Yeah, I don't know what he chooses, but I don't know if he's gonna sue that. I don't know. I don't know how much he knows. For all he knows, he's thinking that Mark should be a smarter man and will not be on YouTube talking about that shit. Because he knows no man wants to be bragging about that shit out here. No man wants to be bragging about taking another man's cheeks in prison. So he doesn't know the extent of the situation. For all he thinks that I'm just some random guy that watched the documentary and wants to know what's going on. He doesn't know that Mark's on YouTube telling his story. He doesn't know that. Why? What idiot would be on YouTube talking about the shit they did in prison? Who in the right mind? So that's why you have to see and be patient. He doesn't know that it's at this situation. Yeah, because it's gonna be up to him. But I'm a betty man that he doesn't know the extent that is at right now. I'm pretty sure he's a gambling. He's probably thinking, nah, I don't think Mark's out here fucking talking about that. Why? What did he say in the documentary? The Bloods had already told Mark to stop messing around with them boys. Nobody wants to come out of prison saying they were given or taken. Nobody. So he's probably thinking that Mark is still this solid Crenshaw blood. He ain't going to say what he was doing in prison because it's going to make him look like a fruit cup. But he doesn't know, just like how Mark sold his soul for some cheeseburgers in the visiting room, he sold his soul for $75 a month. $75 a month to tell the story of what he did to these guys. That's why you have to be patient. Let the cards fall in place. Just be patient. He has to analyze what's going on. For all I know, he probably thinks I'm the only one that knows. I'm not calling him from no big corporation, no broadcasting. I'm not. So he's probably wondering, who else? I don't think he knows or would think that Mark's out here reliving this story 30 years later. I don't think so. Because him being the victim and Mark being the aggressor, and knowing that kind of lifestyle is frowned upon, he was probably hoping Mark would just leave it alone. Just like Hips. What did Hips say? Why are you bringing stuff up that happened 25, 30 years ago, Mark? You should have left that alone. If Hips felt that way, how do you think this new guy's gonna feel? Mark, you should have left it alone. All these people are involved because you brought it up. You, Mark, you're the one that brought it up to YouTube. You made me go look for Hips. You're the one that opened up the can of worms by coming onto YouTube. So we'll get back tomorrow, y'all. I know it's getting late, but I just, just had to clarify little things, because I know, and if V's watching, I apologize, V, but you have to understand that the mission at hand is to get to the truth. That was always been the mission at hand, was to get to the truth. And I apologize if it made it seem like I'm a vindictive or obsessed or out for blood. No, it's not. It even before it was made about me, it was always about the truth. And during the process of me bringing out the truth with Hips, I had to defend myself. But I still didn't lose track of the mission, was to get to the truth. That's it. I'm just trying to get to the truth that everybody was entertained. So, but if everybody's still entertained and don't want to know the truth, well, then if that's the case, then this world is fake. Y'all have a good night and y'all stay blessed. I hope V don't go nowhere. Stay tuned, V. Y'all have a good one.